Hey guys, so there's some, not really new news, but it's developing further and further. World of T-shirts and his debilitating alcoholism. So it's just keeps getting worse, and he's still in the care, or whatever you want to call it, of MrBased. And MrBased is not doing anything good for Josh at all. And he's not even hiding it. So recently, Joshua was walking around the streets. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this clip. I was originally not going to cover it, but MrBased's reaction, I kind of noticed something about the way he reacts with these situations that made me want to, start a video about it. So I'm pretty sure, as everyone has seen, I'm pretty sure someone walks up and yells, "Put the fries in the bag," and then it leads to this. I'm not sure exactly where the clip starts. I think this was recorded directly from MrBased's phone. This isn't a stream clip because it looks like it was recorded directly in TikTok. But I can guarantee someone either said he's gonna steal Josh's phone or Josh's hat, or to put the fries in the bag, and then he just started, running down the street, kicks a random woman, kicks multiple random cars, and eventually ends up jumping on one. And, this isn't nothing new, him, freaking out, yelling at shit. Recently, more and more often, he's been, lunging at people, trying to punch people, screaming at any sort of, little bit of insult he gets, or even if it's not an insult. If somebody just quotes one of his videos, he'll just freak the fuck out. And MrBased is not helping. If MrBased was ever helping, Josh would have been in rehab a long time ago. MrBased does not give a fuck about Josh. He knows Josh has liver cirrhosis at the age of 22 or 23. I can't remember Josh's exact age. I don't feel like looking it up. But it is kind of crazy how this all started, a couple years ago, back with the Mexico trip when he was 20 and he discovered drinking for the first time. And then when he got back to New York, the second he turned 21, he was drinking a bunch of expensive ass drinks at every bar in New York and whatever. Eventually, instead of boba and tea, it just became alcohol. And then he'd go on tours and then just ask his fans to buy him drinks, or charge people $50 to take a selfie so he can buy drinks. And now it eventually devolved into him accepting a small cut of his streaming income, and he has a pimp that, cuts him off a check and gives him a hotel and gives him free drinks and gets him blackout wasted almost every time they stream. And the pimp thing isn't an analogy. MrBased is a known pimp. He was actually found guilty in a court of law for running New York Confidential. So this guy has no problem exploiting women and shit, for prostitution rings. So he has zero problem exploiting this 20-year-old guy, and he gets paid directly and legally. This is exactly the kind of thing MrBased was probably looking for. And don't ever think for a second MrBased cares about Josh. He basically is trying to separate from Josh from as much of his money as possible at all times. It originally started off with them running into each other by happenstance. Josh was in the street, and then MrBased stream sniped him. Either that, or that he just genuinely ran into him. And then it started with Josh throwing a drink on him and screaming and chasing him down the street.
Scram!
Can I be your friend?
You can't come on this event. Scram!
I'm not coming on your event. I didn't take...
You have to leave!
And you're a very large TikToker.
You have to leave!
I'm on my knees. Please help me.
Get out of here.
Please help
leave.
my channel.
You have to leave!
I'm begging you, help my channel.
Hey, come on.
Get him.
Get out of here, man.
Get him!
You didn't pay for this event, man.
Get him! Get him!
Come on, man.
Bribe to me. I'm walking home. Oh my God! He just threw his drink on me. All right, now you've got problems, young man. Get over here! You're gonna apologize to me. You're gonna apologize to me. Run, you little bitch! Run, you little bitch! All right, that's enough, guys. I did good. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I just scared the #1 TikToker in the world.
That was insane.
Thank you. He threw a drink in my face. You see I got a drink on my face?
And that just happened just now?
Yeah.
Oh my, I saw you guys arguing, and then he threw a drink in your...
I'm the luckiest motherfucker in the world. I'm gonna sue him.
And then he started screaming and running away.
Have you heard of him, WorldOfTShirts? On TikTok?
No, what the hell?
I never heard of him until 2 days ago. Have a good night.
In other words...
And it seems like from this moment on, MrBased has like personally vowed to himself to like ruin Josh Block forever. Basically, somehow he got a hold of him, got in contact with him, and ended up becoming his manager. And it seems ever since MrBased became Josh's manager, like his life has gone downhill. Josh is drinking, he's completely out of control. He's a lot more violent now compared to, you know, what he was a couple of years ago. He would just like scream and, you know, get mad at people and yell at them and threaten to sue them for millions of dollars. But now he's just straight up like swinging at random people in the street, women included. Like, I don't know, if you're letting him get drunk to the point where he's, you know, swinging at people and kicking people, he's either going to get in jail or he's going to get knocked out or some shit. Or hopefully he gets in jail, because at least, you know, if he gets sent to jail, like, you won't be able to drink. And they'll probably give him medication to, like, stop the shakes, you know, to make sure he doesn't have a seizure and die. But what he really needs is rehab. And Josh has, like, turned down rehab multiple times from multiple people. And MrBased, you know, that would be the last thing MrBased wants, because all MrBased has to do is go on a vacation with Josh, give him a hotel room, and supply him with unlimited alcohol. And so he gets a paid vacation, basically. All he has to do is just make sure Josh, you know, doesn't leave his sight. So he can always have, like, a video camera on him. All he has to do is follow Josh around with his phone, and then he gets all the followers and all the money, and then he cuts Josh a check, basically. And then Josh is perfectly fine with it, because for all he cares, like, he's just going to be drunk till the day he dies. I don't really think Josh is concerned about anything else but flying to, like, as many countries as possible and drinking every single day and getting blackout drunk every single day. And the thing about MrBased is that I think he's doing all of this because he does not give a shit about Josh at all. He's just trying to separate him from as much of his money as he can as possible before he goes to jail, because there's someone named Alex Rosen that was trying to expose MrBased for, like, the person that he actually is, like all of his past crimes and shit that he always tries to cover up. And he assaulted him in the middle of the street, and I think he's trying to just live it up before his court date that's coming up in October, because ever since he got picked up by the police and posted bail, he's been, like, live streaming all the time. The first day he didn't have Josh in the stream, and then once he, like, cooled down the whole situation and thought it was safe, he's been streaming with Josh as often as possible, trying to make his, like, 4 shitty skits and make as many TikToks and as much content, because he knows, like, while he's in jail, someone else is gonna try to find Josh and become their manager due to how gullible he is. I don't really think Josh cares about anything but alcohol, because he could be making all of this money himself, because, like, people do want to watch Josh. Like, no one would ever give a shit about MrBased if Josh wasn't in the video. And, like, he knows he's, like, a celebrity somewhat. He is a bit egotistical, but, like, he could have easily set up an actual career for himself if he actually got a real manager, not someone that he just follows around into hotel rooms and gets blackout drunk and lets them film them, having a fit in the middle of the street. He will let Josh do anything short of getting arrested or getting sent to the hospital because he knows that's like really bad PR and someone is going to intervene. But everything he does is completely fake. He doesn't give a shit about Josh. Ever since he did that car incident, instead of putting the phone down and like taking responsibility as like a sober adult that is, managing this person, instead of letting them crash out like any manager who would want an actual fruitful career for their client would, he films it because this is all short-term content. He knows he might not be able to be Josh's manager ever again because he might go to jail for a good couple of months. And, so obviously for him not to go homeless, Josh is going to have to find a new manager because he's too lazy to actually, work on his own TikTok page and make any money himself. He'd rather take the shortcut and let someone cut off a check instead of making 100% of the money. Like, MrBased is extremely lucky to be in this position that he's in right now because he's completely exploiting this kid and reaping all the rewards and most of the followers and shit because most people that are from the stream are just subscribing to, youtube.com/MrBased or whatever the fuck his channel is. And then they're not actually going to the WorldOfTShirts TikTok. Well, like, people are going to his TikTok and shit, but he's not really making, like, the money that the stream is making from all the text-to-speech. And he shouldn't even be, MrBased shouldn't even be able to do all this because he's been banned from Square or whatever his payment processor is. I think it might be Stripe or some shit. But he found a workaround for the TTS and is either using a different system or found a way to either defraud them or hide his identity so they don't know that he's supposed to be banned and he's continuing to, earn revenue from this. And every time on MrBased stream, it's either him out in the streets getting Josh completely blackout drunk or like going to random places in New York and harassing people. And then MrBased is just standing in a corner filming it for content, or he's trying to like hop in and force some weird scripted thing, and he just can't. Well, I was about to say he can't learn that Josh is like too stupid to act, but his bad acting is honestly pretty entertaining. It's just so great to see how wrong it can go. But when they're not doing that outside, they're in MrBased's apartment doing fucking PR control. He's like, last time I checked in there, he's just sitting there. Like, Josh has a guitar, just like barely, making any notes, just strumming random strings every couple minutes. And then MrBased is like smiling and dancing, and then Josh is just like sitting there. I'm surprised he wasn't on his phone. Josh has always sat down on his phone in the middle of the streams, not interacting with chat at all, unless he's freaking out over some random bullshit. And then MrBased screams every time Josh, raises his voice and then tries to play it up and shit. But like, he has like the hype man skills of somebody at like a second grade assembly. Like, it's very disingenuous, and like I can tell like everything he does is just completely calculated, and it's kind of like an insult to your intelligence, like watching it as like a grown adult, because like he's not really fooling anyone. Most people are there for Josh, and all he's there for is just to keep people like filled in the empty space. Like, when Josh isn't doing something interesting, he's always talking about what they're doing next, or asking Josh questions and shit. Like, random questions from chat, or maybe he'll ask something specific to try to get a reaction if it's really dead. Because sometimes, if it's inconvenient for him, he'll want Josh to stop freaking out if he, like, gets triggered by something in chat. But when he wants the attention in his stream and, he wants viewer retention, he'll let Josh completely go on a fucking rampage. like you saw at the beginning of the video, the cars and shit. Like, he's not helping Josh at all. All he's really doing is like giving him like a shitty deal. Like, I mean, he does basically have to do nothing but you know, be as much of a horrid, you know, shitty person, get blackout drunk and go on vacations and shit. But, you know, MrBased isn't doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He's profiting off of this. And then all basically Josh is left with is $5,000 a month, which he subsequently blows very quickly, it seems, because he's always complaining about, you know, not having enough money and shit. And shitty hotels and vacations and shit. Like, one of the reasons Josh says he wants to stay with MrBased is because like, he's always got hotels and shit. And like, supposedly MrBased either because he's just lived in New York for like a long time and knows where to look, like, you know, like knows the local secrets, like how to get a cheaper price on the hotel or whatever, or he's just like very connected with the hotels because he used to run New York Confidential, which is like a very high profile rich people prostitution / cocaine delivery service. So he probably is, you know, tapped in with these shady ass like New York hotel owners that he can get like a special rate for rooms for. I don't know how he does it, but like Josh says that like that's one of the reasons he's always staying with MrBased. And I don't understand why he wants to live out of a hotel. If Josh just actually like did something with his career, starting with like the, you know, time when he was like on the fucking New York City Times Square billboards, he probably would have been doing pretty good by now. He wouldn't need to be living in a hotel or some shit. He could actually have his own apartment. But he's like kind of fallen in too hard to the lifestyle of just, you know, being unemployed and fucking around and always being on vacation, basically. He's just always getting drunk and partying and living in hotels, and I don't know if he's still gonna find it fun when he's like 30 or some shit. Like ignoring like the health issues and shit, which obviously would make it not fun. Like, this obviously isn't sustainable. I just don't know how not even World of T-Shirts himself is sick of it yet. Like, he could have had an apartment or even a house, which is always going to be cheaper than living out of hotels and shit. But he'll always choose the short-term option if he can get drunk today, which, you know, MrBased is fully well aware of and takes full advantage of that fact because, you know, he's someone that's allegedly fine with drugging girls and stuff. I mean, he already is a pimp, and he already is involved in a case where a girl was accidentally roofied to death, or supposedly accidentally. That's just my guess. I'm guessing they didn't mean to kill her, and they were probably just, you know, intending to do what, you know, roofies were used for commonly. But she was like a little bit too drunk, and they mixed it with too much GHB, which is a substance that Diddy, you know, had in his indictment at all the Diddy parties that he would supply to people, that he would, you know, R-word. And her toxicology showed that she died of an GHB overdose, and I think it was mixed with like a lot of alcohol, and her heart just completely gave out, basically. So he doesn't really care about people's health. I mean, supposedly there is a lack of evidence on this, but when somebody started investigating the case again, he assaulted them in the middle of the street in broad daylight. So I don't think it's completely out of the water that, you know, he would completely overlook Josh's health and let him completely crash out and rob him blind as much as possible. But like, Josh has had almost like 100 opportunities to like escape this lunatic, and he always chooses to stay with him. So, I mean, I can't really blame MrBase that much because he is a career criminal and he sees this, stubborn alcoholic, basically a walking piggy bank. So, I mean, why not take advantage of him? Like, that's what, manipulative criminals do. And many people have told MrBased about what kind of person he is. So he still chooses to like hang out with this guy, and he completely like has the ability to like walk away. I don't know, it just completely baffles me that he's so stubborn. But that's basically it for the video. I kind of talked about this for way too long accidentally. Subscriber MrBase will assault you with a selfie stick.